Hey guys, Marslingan here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and with all the hype around Zamasu and Vegito Blue coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ, I thought now would be a good time to revisit a unit that I only a little while ago finally put all the orbs into to actually Rainbow Star, and that is the Tech Merged Zamasu. Now obviously, when he came to the game in the JP version and had featured in the anime, the initial translation and everyone in the community was just calling him Merged Zamasu, and of course once he came to Global, and I think is how he's named in the FighterZ trailer, he is referred to as Fusion Zamasu. But I, like many people, spent the good 6 months before he came to Global calling him Merged Zamasu, so I kind of can't stop myself from doing it now. So don't at me in the comments. I kind of it's become a habit now, and I think Merged Zamasu sounds better, even though, you know, I guess he is the fusion of Zamasu and Goku Black. But let's get into this real quick. So his leader skill is obviously pretty outdated now, but he was the counterbalance to the Rage Trunks, and you could have a nice setup with him and the Rose on your team due to links. Him giving an extra 20% to the stats but less ki. So he's pretty decent. Obviously you can still do the same thing now if you have him and not either of the Roses. You could use a friend strength Rose, as long as you make sure you have all the other types on your team. And then of course you get that little bit of extra stats that you wouldn't get from the AGL Rose. And the villains team links up so well, not to mention the fact that the Rose and various other villains give ki with their passive. So he causes immense damage with his super attack, which is obviously great. That's always what you want to see. Greatly lowers defense, which is not hugely useful, but his passive skill, attack 120%, so he is just literally designed to hit hard. Nice big attack bonus, immense damage, and he does attack minus 10% for super class allies. That only really comes into play on his category teams. He's in the Realm of Gods and the Patara team. So obviously those can be a mix of extreme and super types, given that him, the normal Zamasu and the Roses are all on that team as well. So of course on an extreme team, whether it's Rainbow Villains or Extreme Tech, that won't ever come into play. So it's not too important. And he has a 12 ki multiplier of 140%. So his links, he shares pretty much all of his links with the Rose and I think base form Goku Black. So he's got a couple of good attack links. Nightmare, Godly Power is the only one he doesn't share with Rose. Fear and Faith is for ki. Same with Fused Fighter, which is a bit of a random one. No one else really on the Extreme or Villains team has that. There's a couple of Fused Fighters that were added in the Fusions banner, but you don't really see them get used that much. He does have Big Bad Bosses, which is obviously good. Dismal Future is for ki, and of course so is Fierce Battle. So Godly Power is a link that only the Gods or Whis and then the Super Saiyan God Goku and Ultra Instinct Goku has. None of the Super Saiyan Blue units have it. And since Rose is basically Goku Black's version of Super Saiyan Blue, he doesn't have it either. So for the team, obviously we've got Merged Zamasu on the team. I don't have the Int Zamasu. I didn't bring the strength one because we've got the strength Rose and I needed to fill out all the colour types. So I've actually brought in Demigra because he has it, and the AGL SR Zamasu is actually pretty decent for an SR. His main use is to raise the super attack of either your old strength one or the new Int one. But he's not a bad unit, plus he also shares a lot of the same links with this Zamasu, so I thought like it was worth bringing him on the team as well. So we're just going to jump straight into it here. We're on Boss Rush because unfortunately that is really the only thing we have to showcase units on Global at the moment. If you just take on one Dokkan event, it's just too short. So we've got a nice starting rotation here. So all of his attack links are active aside from Fierce Battle, which obviously wouldn't be active just yet. So we'll keep the Rose off on the end there. Let's grab all of those, and you can grab those. So we should see him putting quite a bit of damage. The AGL Zamasu obviously not so much. This one's only super attack 1. I just leveled him up to max. I'm hoping to do more summons on the extreme banner and hopefully pull the Int Zamasu, and then I can use all of the AGL ones I've picked up to raise his super attack. So 1.7 million with no crit with type advantage. And that's with all of his attack links active except for big bad bosses. So that is that's quite a hefty amount of damage. So let's see. I brought the LR Black and Zamasu just for the kind of the sake of speeding up the showcase, because we don't want to spend too long on any of the stages. And if I just bring up his stats, so that is his max Rainbow Star stats, only over 15k attack, which is pretty decent. And unfortunately, this guy, I had my first 2 dupes for before I learned the glory of giving everyone level 3 dodge. So if I pull another dupe for him, I will probably change one of his additionals to dodge. Because he is a unit that is designed solely for hitting hard, I feel like giving him a high crit level is really good. So hopefully we will get to see him crit and deal a nice amount of damage at some point as well. We'll probably only go through Goku, depending how long it takes. Obviously the new villain team with the new Rose is incredibly powerful. Rose just critting for 1 million, so the LRs potentially are just going to take him out here. They haven't been hit yet, so they haven't built up their attack, so he does just survive. That is the downside to units that have that build up mechanic, but of course they took barely any damage in return due to their tanking, so that gets rid of him. So now let's see, we're on to the actual main phase boss of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So obviously he has a slightly higher defense. Let's do this. So I believe that is all of, so godly power. So I don't think, so he's not getting Nightmare, so we probably should keep him on rotation with a Rose and then float these other 2, since the godly power link is the only one they provide to him. So yeah, this Zamasu actually heals you based on the damage you do, so it's actually not a bad unit. If you pull a bunch of them and you don't have the other Zamasu to level up, getting him to SA10. Unfortunately, he is just a base SR, so he can't be he can't ever use the dupe system. So 620k with no crit. So that's not the best. We definitely need to get him linked back up with Rose so we can see some real damage. And of course, Dobika are going to take a super attack. 132,000. So, of course, with the Roses all giving so much ki, we probably will take out Goku here. So... Plus we've got both Roses debuffing his attack and the tech LR who will tank anyway, so shouldn't take a huge amount of damage this turn. 108 from a normal attack. That's the best part. That's one of the, I say the best part, he's just such a great unit all round anyway, but one of the great things about the STR Rose is by lowering the attack, he's not even really a tank himself, but he will tank fairly well against most opponents, and having double Rose is obviously so yeah, he just gets absolutely annihilated. So we will go through we'll definitely go through Vegeta then, since we want to see a bit more from our boy Merged Zamasu. I definitely want to see him super attack against the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta with that type advantage. So we'll do it this way. See, perfect, because Goku Black base form has big bad bosses, so let's not grab the physical orbs with him, because we don't want to heal ourselves out of big bad bosses. So, and with type disadvantage, hopefully Goku Black won't kill him, but obviously the first stage enemy of these events is normally fairly weak, so there you go, that's fine. So all of his attack links active now, including big bad bosses, so this should be pretty hefty. Yeah, crit for 2.1 million. So like I say, obviously the first phase enemies do take a bit more damage, but critting for over 2 million There's all of his attack links active, so that was pretty fantastic. Let's do this. Get the LRs to take the brunt of that damage. Of course, they give us a heal, so we probably won't have big bad bosses active by the time Merged Zamasu comes around again, unless of course he super attacks. But I mean, this whole team is so the extreme team is so powerful, especially with the LR Black and Zamasu. They are going to deal a lot of damage. Yeah, get him out of here. So we go on to Super Saiyan 3. So this will be a good way to show, because obviously we're now on to the third stage, so it's another strength type. Look at all of those links going off. So yeah, I'll keep him with the base form Goku Black just because the Rose is so powerful. So unless he gets a crit, he probably won't one-shot him. So we'll leave him in the front just so we can see how well he tanks at Rainbow. Obviously the strength Rose is on rotation to lower the attack, so he will get that extra bit of defense there. But so 872,000, so just short of 1 million with all of his attack links active. It's not bad considering no crit, and he's taking double digits on normal attacks and just under 40k off of a super. That's also very decent. Base form Goku Black just going to crit for 1 million. So yeah, Merged Zamasu is a unit that I was able to rainbow fairly easily, but I hadn't just invested the orbs. He's been on a lot of extreme banners. I'm actually kind of surprised he isn't on this one, although I am glad. Base form Goku Black is, and of course I managed to pull a copy of him, because the base Goku Black and the Rose and the Merged Zamasu I've pulled many times since having all their paths open. So right, let's just go for the normal super, and then we will, I'm going to use a Yema just because the if he super attacks the Rose on the back end, that could be bad for us. So we're going to get a Dokkan with the LR. So I am not going to grab any of these because we would quite like him to survive, so we can see Merged Zamasu attacking him next turn. That is, I guess, the downside to the team having such good ki, because there was basically no way we could not super and save the Dokkan attack for Merged Zamasu for next turn. So 28 damage from the super attack. And then Rose, he's got type disadvantage, so he should be fine in terms of having Vegeta survive. And of course he's already supered, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so here we go. So we will, let's let Goku Black go first, because if we don't pick up tons of orbs, he's not going to deal too much damage because he has a nuking style passive, but he will lower the defense with his super attack, and while that's not incredibly useful, it might let us do that little bit extra damage. So let's see how much we can do with the type advantage with Merged Zamasu. So yeah, he got a crit, so it's definitely a good thing we didn't pick up too many orbs. So here we go, all of his attack links are active except for big bad bosses, so we should expect a decent number. Yeah, crit for 1.5 is actually very, very good, because Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has incredibly high defense. So even with the type advantage, 1.5 million on a crit. Considering he is a much older unit, he is sort of the last of the units of the previous meta, because it was just before the 120 leads came out, really, that Merged Zamasu and Rage Trunks came out. So considering how old of a unit he now is, considering we're not super far off of the 3-year, so he's probably at least a year old at this point. So I would say that's definitely a solid showing for him. Let me know in the comments if you have him, if you use him, have you put the orbs into him. Also let me know if you are hyped for FighterZ. I'm considering getting it back and getting all of the DLC. Let me know if FighterZ content is something you would like to see on the channel. I put up a video back when the beta was first out and it didn't really get many views because I know my channel is mainly focused on Dokkan at the moment, but I'm definitely interested in doing other games or other Dragon Ball related content if it's something you guys would like to see. So definitely let me know in the comments whether you would like to see FighterZ content. I know a couple of you have asked about Legends already, so we will definitely cover that when it comes out. So yeah, let me know. It's always good to interact with you guys. Follow me on Twitter at @TheMaskedNingen. Give me your thoughts on Zamasu. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers now here on the channel, so hashtag 1000 Mortals Plan all over the comments, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.